Hello, everybody, and wow, someone already jumped in not 2 seconds in. That's crazy. Say hello and let more people know that I'm in here. Sorry about the motorcycle in the background, I don't care. But anyway, hello, everybody. National Guard 5 here, and welcome to another live stream. I had to kill the other one because I was getting low on battery. But I'm back and ready to show off the new engine. Just gotta get my dead Penzi T1. Use it as a kind of stand. There we go. Okay, so you can see in the left of the screen, there's ATSF 3751. That is by Broadway Limited. It's a Paragon 3, so it's top of the top. It's going to look awesome. It's going to be great. What's neat about each of the ATSF engines I own is they're all built by different people and, well, different companies, I should say. There we go. Turned on live chat. Start chatting away. The next engine, so this is ATSF 3751. I'll move him in a little closer. Here is, hello Brandon, let other people know that I'm on a stream, eh? So here's my little porter tank. Um, this is ATSF 2240. This is a little porter tank by Bachmann, and Bachmann does the ever awesome Thomas and Friends models, which is awesome. There's Hector, hello. And then, well, oh dear, I think I see someone in the back there that has unfortunately met an untimely end. I'll show him in a minute. But I do have, in fact, a new ATSF engine. Just let me move 2240 out of the way. Here she comes. I think she's going the right way. Yep, there she goes. Got a little train going. I'll explain the train she has. And here she is. This is Santa Fe ATSF 1791. I like how big the number is, but again, my live stream phone sometimes likes to go out of focus. I don't know why. Pull it back a little bit. There we go. Now it's nice and neat. And this is a Y3 engine. Let me just move her back a little bit. Yes, I'm calling it a her. The other two are guys. Don't question it. From a distance, it looks a little like a big boy. If it weren't for the smoke box door right here, you would think this is like an ATSF variant of a big boy. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? But anywho, I believe the Y3 engines, they were built originally by Norfolk and Western and adopted into other East Coast, other East Coast companies. I think Baltimore, Ohio, Chesapeake, Ohio, all the East Coast, majority of the East Coast companies had these Y3s. You really wouldn't see Santa Fe being a West Coast company, more or less. You really wouldn't catch Santa Fe with a Y3. Um, and yes, Trains Mania, I do have a Penzi. I'll show it in a minute. Just hang on there. But I could like put an extra set of lead and trailing wheels on this one. It'd be a Santa Fe Big Boy, because this is a 2882. Right now it is DC, but it is DCC ready, meaning I would have to go and get a sound chip installed to where I could have it running as a on my model railroad club's layout. And I'll explain why this is not the first time you would see you didn't see Santa Fe 1791. I'll explain that in a minute as she's going around the track here. And by the way, there are a couple of unfortunate schmucks out in the scrapyard. And the three that are watching, just let other people know that I'm doing a live stream regarding my new locomotive, please. The more the merrier. And I'll show off the other locomotives I have. I have 3 Santa Fe engines as of now. I have 2 Union Pacifics, 1 Delaware Hudson, and 1 Penzi, and 1 Norfolk and Western, actually. So she comes around the track again. Again, it's just a generic oval. I have enough track to do so. I was really wondering, because of this coronavirus thing, when I would be able to run trains again. I'm so glad the club I'm a part of has reopened. But let me explain why this isn't the first time 1791 has shown up on my channel. So, a while back, and this was a club, I guess, experiment. I know that there could be some club members watching. And, hello, how you doing? This isn't a slam. This is more of just like a recollection. So back in the day, because we were trying to keep our tracks clean, and track cleaning is always a top priority. Santa Fe 3751 is, I think, one of two engines I run now that have traction wheels. Traction wheels are on the last pair of driving wheels, which gives it a lot more strength and haulage capacity. However, a couple of club members said, and we started debating whether or not traction wheels should be used or not. And for a little while, as I'm clearing out the mess here, there we go. There's the piece I'm looking for. My Santa Fe 3751, which is a Paragon 3, had to utilize a piece of Paragon 2, which was that piece right there. That was its last driving wheel. And now I kind of use the Paragon 2 for Paragon 3 as like spare parts. So for a time being, this guy was using Hey Optimus Prime, just please let people know, the people you and I both know, that I'm doing a live stream. I'd like to see more familiar faces. Just please let them know before you leave or whatever. But anyway, this guy was using the Santa Fe 3751 in the background, was using that particular wheel. And it was a good idea, but it was you could see like this white silver notch right here on the last wheel. And what also was a downside was, while it didn't put down any dirt or anything, it really bleh. The pulling power of this guy was really bad with the without its traction wheel. It was slipping so badly up the helix that you see on my videos sometimes. It was slipping really badly. But we came up with a little bit of a solution, and that was to run the wheels on a piece of paper towel with isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol essentially, to get rid of any dirt and all that. And believe me, the first time the club members started doing that, man, we were cleaning up wheels and it was black. Like the paper towel was black with dirt. It was just like, whoa, crazy. The reason why I say that is because for a while, Santa Fe 3751 here, I paired it up. Oh, she's going the wrong way. I paired her up with 1791. Now, 1791, this one I was able to get. The previous one was a Club Loco that I would go with, because at the time I only had a couple of steam engines, like Union Pacific 7009, which is also here with me. I'll show you in a minute. So I would use 1791 with 3751 when the traction wheel was removed. However, with the whole running your train wheels over a piece of alcohol-soaked paper towels really helped. And then a couple weeks later or so, after I was using it, it disappeared. I don't know where it went. I looked in the roundhouse. I looked at some of the boxes we have of club logos. The thing disappeared. I don't know if it's like in the storage, or we just got rid of it. I don't know what happened to it. But for a long time, I didn't know where this thing went, and I thought I will never find it again, and here it is now. I'm happy to say I own one. And again, from this angle, it does look like a Union Pacific big boy in a way. Again, I would only need to put wheels right where my finger is. If I could get smaller wheels somehow, I could turn this into a Santa Fe big boy if I wanted to. That'd be quite the shocker, wouldn't it? Santa Fe acquiring a Union Pacific big boy. I wonder what they'd have to number it to. I haven't seen a whole lot of comments as of recent. I think the last one was Optimus Prime. Yep, Optimus Prime 2471. I'll showcase real quick the other engines in a little bit. But if you're here in the live stream, go ahead and comment. I'm not stopping you. But Santa Fe 1791 right now is DC. It's DCC ready, which basically means when I bring it around again, it does have, I won't pull it apart right now, because I feel if I do, hands, I'd break it, and I don't want to do that. I'll also explain the cars it's pulling, just for fun. I'll also show the scrapyard, which is right behind Survey 751. Stop her again. Jeez, I just lost my train of thought. No pun intended. I was gonna showcase the cars, know that. Show the scrapyard. I might explain a little more about. I did explain a little bit about the Y3s. They were basically. I think they were mainly freight trains. They weren't really passenger trains. And to see one in a Santa Fe livery is a little bit odd, but you know, I guess you can do creative liberties. I'll explain the freight cars. I might have done this once before. So the first two are from Mexico, and I know things are going to get a little crazy with seeing those, depending on who's watching. These two are Mexico. This I consider the old one. It's just got that old antique look to it. And this is the Internacional Mexicano Ruta de Eagle Pass. So this was an older boxcar here, and I took about 20 years worth of Spanish. So if you're wondering why all of a sudden I went Spanish, like Buzz's Spanish mode from Toy Story 3, that's the reason. This is NDM, Nacional de Mexico. I think that says Unir Servir, or like United to Serve. I don't know what the... If I have some Spanish speaking subscribers or audience, I think... Let me back it up. It's just the way it's kind of painted on there. Let me bring it back a little bit. This looks like a T right here, but it looks more like unir servir. If I'm saying something that, you know, someone tell me what that says. I think it says unir servir, which means united to serve. I could be wrong. But I again, it just looks like a big T like that. But it could be the same as that over there. That could just be how it's like painted. So it could just be an I, but it looks like a giant T. So I think it is unir servir, united to serve, or something to serve. I recognize servir means to serve. So I like that boxcar. It's a nice. These two boxcars are very nice looking. Now I got wrong way. I got 3 cattle cars to look at. This first one here is very well weathered, and I like that. This is the Atlantic Coastline cattle car, and if you also notice, it's a little bit lopsided because it's higher up here than it is where this finger is. If I take both fingers away, there we go. This finger's a little bit lower than this finger, so it's kind of like tilted like this, which is kind of cool. Let's see, get it rolling again. Here we have the Battle Mountain Battle Mountain Cattle Company. I hate it when I stumble over my words. It makes me look like an idiot. But that's probably my favorite of the bunch just because of its color and the logo here. It's really nice and crisp. And again, my phone loves to go out of focus, so I have to keep bringing it back, and I don't want my T1 to fall over because right now it's hanging off the edge of the table. There we go. Bring it forward again. Again, there's that really nice logo for the Battle Mountain Cattle Company. Bring it forward again. This is the Canadian Cattle Car Company. I believe that's what it says. And once again, because I move, the darn camera just loves to go out of focus. I don't know why. It's really retarded. There, almost had it. I'll just leave it there. So that's the Canadian Cattle Car Company. I'm thinking of Optimus Prime 2471. He lives out, I think, I'm only going to say the state. New Brunswick. I think that's where he lives. I could be wrong, but I want to change this last C here to a P. Then you get the CCCP. So in truth, this would be a Soviet-built cattle car. That'd be crazy. The CCCP, the Communist Cattle Car Production, I guess, if it would be CCCP. But anywho, I just thought, cue the Soviet anthem ear rape version. And then this one here is a Sherwin-Williams Company paint car. It's a paint tanker. The problem with this one is the wheels are a little bit stiff, like they don't move as much, so I might need to oil up the bogies on that one. I do have this, the 3-in-1 multi-purpose oil, which I can use to, lubricate the wheels. Though I've been told by club members this is not good for oiling up engines like this one. And no, I'm not pouring the oil into the into the smoke unit. That would be fatal, probably for 3751. And then this caboose here, I've been running a little more often. Hey, Anthony, good to see you. Let people know I'm doing the live stream again, and you're gonna see more stuff if you stick around, Anthony. I hope you do. Let SP4449 fan 1 know that I'm doing this, and yeah. Let me just bring it around and the caboose. Oh, sorry, I got a little sidetracked because Anthony was here. Let me back it up. Yeah, from a distance, 1791 looks a lot like a big boy. So this Napa caboose here is a little unique. I was running, if I can find it, there it is. I was running this little guy right here, and Train Mania, don't worry, I'll show off the T1. Unfortunately, it doesn't run. That little guy in the front, I was running more because I was running with Union Pacific 844. This is a Union Pacific little red caboose. However, some of the club members said, that looks nice, but it looks a little odd seeing a 2-axle caboose. So they said, why don't you upgrade and go with a 4-axle caboose? So I did, and I just need to get the, I think, resistors put on at least 2 of the metal wheels here on the Napa caboose. And it's fine to use that one, but to me, if I use either caboose, it's okay. It's a little bit of a preference, I guess. I'm not knocking the railroad club. By the way, it's North County Model Railroad Society. I'll sometimes tag that as a location where I do my live streams. One thing I did want to mention though, and I'll make it brief. Thank goodness I blocked him on commenting. Is the YouTuber called I'm the Best YouTuber Ever. I said I'll make it brief, and here it goes. He basically steals content from people like Tugster Intensifies, Taylor Z, and other people, and says, oh, this is mine. But we can clearly see that he's stealing content. And, cue the Gordon Henry James catchphrase from, like, Season 2. It's pretty disgusting, honestly, to say that it's yours when when the person who originally uploaded it basically worked their balls off to get their content out, and you just swipe it and say, this is mine. No, it's not. You bitch. I just want to say that real quick, and he came out saying to all my haters, F you, or whatever. I'm just quoting what he said, and he even used a Family Guy clip. There she is again. She is great at slow speeds. She really is. But yeah, I'm the best YouTuber ever. Just ignore him. He's basically a troll channel. But if he did steal something for your channel, report him immediately. Just want to put that out there. If he's stealing your content, report him. Alright, let's speed her up a little bit. Let me lift up I'll show you the scrapyard. You're going to see 2 schmucks that are already in there. And from a distance, 1791 looks like the big boy. She has 2 sets of 8 drive wheels, just only one pair of lead wheels, 1 pair of trailing wheels. Yeah, can you see the poor schmucks in there? I hope you do. And just set her down again. Alright, so I'm going to stop her over on the corner, because I know a few people are curious what other locomotives I actually own. I'll need something kind of heavy to hold up my camera. Let's see what this little guy holding up. I'm hoping. Yeah, he is actually. Hey, there's SP4449. Glad you can make it. Alright. So there you see Santa Fe 3751. He's looking absolutely awesome up on the screen there. So that's one engine I own. I know Train Mania was asking about something, so here he is. Unfortunately, he can't run right now because his decoder is actually fried. But it is the Pennsylvania T1. When I first got this, I was super happy to own this guy. Unfortunately, his decoder, which is in the tender, was fried, so he couldn't run anymore. So I'm probably gonna get a new decoder or something, get like a Tsunami 2 put in. But if I put it up next to the T1, there you go. Train Mania, if you're still watching, here's my Penzi T1. This guy actually, I think it was, I bought this pre-owned because when I would put the smoke in the smoke unit, it leaked out right where my fingers were, which gave it a little more of a realistic look, like it was a little bit older. But nevertheless, that is my Penzi T1. Sadly, he doesn't run. Again, he's got decoder issues. It's fried. So, I didn't want my decoder extra crispy, if you get my meaning. Okay, yeah, my porter tank's right up against the edge of the table. I do not want him to fall. Let me just take him off. And there's Santa Fe 3751 again, and SP 4449. And Anthony, if you're watching, if you're there, let me know, because look what poor schmucks wound up in the scrapyard. Or rather, they're just trying to hide and they don't want to be caught. Yeah, I don't know how he wound up like that. Yeah, Anthony, look at the poor schmucks in the freaking scrapyard. His red paint will never be the same. Ever. Anyway, let me show off a couple more engines. I've done this before, but I thought I'd do it again. Let me bring out the first one I ever owned. Unfortunately, it too has some physical issues and a couple of decoder problems. It's like and I'll also do a quick comparison, because I actually wanted to do this with this particular locomotive. Just put him down here. Okay, so there's that one. It looks a little like 844, doesn't it? Well, not exactly. Let me get the real one out. I'll explain to you the similarities and differences between the two. I know it started out with the new ATSF loco, but at the same time, I wanted to show a couple other things off. Okay, here we go. I feel like Sam's Trains right now. I'm doing like unboxing reviews and stuff. Oh boy, what am I gonna do? Okay, so I'm gonna put him down on track. I actually wanted to do this, but I didn't have the loco at the time. It took me about a year to actually find this guy. So there are the two, right up front, up close and personal with each other. Thomas enjoyed eating technically. Okay. So these two looked a little alike, in my opinion. The reason why I got this one was, one, I wanted to own Union Pacific 844, but I didn't. I couldn't find them either online or, yeah. So here is my first ever engine I used. It is Delaware and Hudson 302, and as SP 4449 pointed out, my goodness, I am stumbling on my words today. This is actually a Reading T1 disguised in this paint scheme. He has a small smoke deflectors compared to 844. Let me just lower his bell there. There we go. This is a Broadway Limited. That is an Athearn. I have a lot of different makers of model trains on the table right now. But this guy is the reason why I prefer 844 now over the 302. And don't worry, I will eventually get him repaired. And Train Mania, yeah, I do have a T1. He is right behind the Delaware Hudson. I'll put him out in front for you. Give me 1 second. Well, yeah, I technically have two T1s, but they are completely different designs, which is hilarious. So there's the Reading T1 right there, disguised as Delaware Hudson 302. And here is the Penzi T1 for Train Mania. He's right here. But unfortunately, they both have tender issues. You can see right here the decoder plug is broken on this one. This one, you can see there is one wire that broke away. So this is the Penzi T1, the Reading T1. Yeah, there's a big difference. Let's see. There is an engine in that box up there. I showed it off a couple of times in a couple of live streams. I just put the Penzi T1 right there. And actually, now that I think about it, actually, let me grab him again. I'll do another side-by-side. I just had to move the controller out of the way. 22. What? What, Optimus? That number made no sense. Let me get one more engine out. Oh yeah, James will never be the same again. And neither will Thomas, because he is nomming on China clay like Pac-Man. Let's see. Okay. There he is. I got him. Yeah, I know Ben, but don't forget Bill. And Ivo. What? Okay, hold on a second. Didn't really think this out. Let me just put the engine there. There's Emily, by the way. To me, Emily, I mentioned in a previous live stream, she is the weakest of the 3 Backman Thomases I have right now. Nothing against her, it's just that's how she is right now. I oiled her up on her driving wheels, and they run a little bit better. Like the oil doesn't run hot or anything, thank goodness. It doesn't like catch fire. Alright, so here is the Penzi T1, and its arch rival is right in front of it. And this is, before people start asking who this is 5453. This is not the character I came up with. And this is the Dreyfus Hudson. One little reason I want it is because these wheels right here just look fantastic. It has such a really unique design. It's a Broadway Limited, not the MTH. So this one was hard to find. I'm so glad I found that. One problem that this guy has is every time I run it, the footplate constantly flips up. I don't know why, so I have to get in there and just like force it down. It is such a pain in the butt. Do I have... Oh, good. I keep forgetting this, too, the smoke fluid. I keep forgetting that every Saturday. I feel like an idiot for that. Alright, let's see if I can lower it. I can't get in with that. If I found a screwdriver or something, that would help. But I don't have it. But anyway, I'll do it. I said I would review that one there, but I got a little carried away. But sue me, I don't care. So I have these 4 engines right here, and there are 2 in the scrapyard that I'll show in a minute. But real quick, this is the New York Central. This is the Pennsylvania. These 2 hated each other, and they both wonder why the hell did Penn Central ever come into existence. That leaves these engines scratching their heads as to, what the heck. Okay, Jay, I haven't thought of a name for 302 yet. I'll think on that in a little bit, but yeah, these 2 are still wondering why the hell did Penn Central ever come into existence. It makes no sense. Probably money reasons, but let me put these aside. Ugh, these guys are heavy because these guys are made of brass or whatever. Like especially this guy here. That's a brass hybrid. That's nuts. Oh yeah, look, 611, and he's like, help me. There's Tom Axe. He is eating fruit. Looks like it. And James is stuck underneath the spiteful brake van. They don't look good. I'll talk about James in a minute because you probably noticed something unique about him. Back to these 2 real quick. So, like I mentioned earlier, I got Delaware Hudson 302 because it reminded me a little bit of Union Pacific 844, but there are obviously a few differences. For one thing, 844 does not run on coal. He runs on oil. It's built differently. The drive wheels are a lot smaller than 844. And what's interesting is these ones are white-walled. These ones kind of have a unique silver outline, which I kind of like. Also, their driving rod holders are completely different. I call these Frankenstein bolts, and again, my camera decided to not focus. Had to bitch slap it. Okay, come on, focus. There we go. So, these ones I call Frankenstein bolts, because they stick out so far from the wheel, but they do the job. This one wobbles slightly, this drive wheel here, but I think it's connected to the drive shaft of the motor, so it kind of wobbles when it moves, but it doesn't cause any problems, thank goodness. And this is one of the stronger engines I have. This thing can, while it does go slower up the helix on the club's layout, I almost said my layout, I don't own it. This guy goes a little slower on the club layout, but it still gets up the hill no problem. This guy's drive wheels are a lot smaller. I do like the white wall though, and I like this little piece right here. I also made a video of how my 302 should run because the headlight doesn't work. These things aren't gonna break off. The smoke deflectors. The smoke unit, I put too much smoke fluid in there, so I think I drowned it out by accident. And then, of course, the tender, the Dakota plug, is broken. So I'll take this guy off. Actually, I just realized he's derailed. Let me just move him into the scrapyard. And I kind of don't like the fact that some engines have been scrapped. It's a little disheartening. 844, I've opened my box a few times that it's in, because I've been told the best way to preserve model railway engines, is to have them connected, especially if they're a tender engine, like this. Take them out of the box, connect it, make sure there's a decoder, I did, and then put it in the box. And the one thing that's a little annoying is this guy's smoke deflectors can pop right off, Also, if Anthony and Jay are here, this is what I imagine for Andy, where if I put the camera right on the track, if the damn camera will focus, come on, focus yourself, there we go. This is what I was picturing for Andy. For those that are watching my live stream right now, Jay, Anthony, and I have come up with some ideas for stories in the States. I'll mention this briefly. But each of our companies that our characters are owned by, like mine, I voice Cheyenne, that's his name, 844. He has a Joey Turner-esque idiot brother named Andy. And Andy's number is 823. And, we might do a Trains 19 live stream later. I don't know. But the idea I came up with to show how stupid Andy is, even though he is like the most, he's very hardworking, was Andy only wears one smoke deflector. I just thought that would be hilarious. Like, if that was possible in Trains 19 to have like one smoke deflector on either side and the other one's not there, that's what I was picturing with Andy. Was he's so dumb he only wears one smoke deflector. But that is one little knock with the Athearn Genesis 844, is that these smoke deflectors pop out a little too easily. Fortunately, they are easy to put back on. And I do like the fact that it is its own piece, and it's easy to put on because these little holders don't actually break off that easily. That's very nice. Let's see. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that if this was done in Trains 19, I could just see Andy with one smoke deflector and not two. That'd be priceless. Just put it back on. There we go. So unfortunately, with these guys, with these two here, they are DCC equipped, and that means if I grab the controller, I'm not going to run anything for yet. There it is. Here's the code. The Backman controller. If that says 1833, I'm like, dang, Backman's been around that long. I'm going to double check on that, and I'll get back to you guys on that. If I turn it on, she's going to start moving, but unfortunately these two aren't. And they each have their own unique... let me just move this guy out of the way real quick. I had to grab him. Where am I going to put you? There we go. I'll put you right here for the time being. And I'll focus on this guy because he makes noise when you reach a certain speed. Here goes 1791. Just keep your ears open, people. Yeah, Santa Fe 3751 makes some great noises. You'll probably see him running Saturday morning. And I just realized I left the box on the track, so 1791, she's brand new. I accidentally made her run into a box. TF2 Soldier would either approve or disapprove, I'm not sure. Here, I'm going to set her down, set this camera down, re-rail her. Okay, she's back on the tracks. Okay. And yeah, it's just a generic train set oval. And I'll end it with that guy right there. Tom Max, you keep eating the fruit or China clay, whatever the hell's in that boxcar. Excuse me. Alright, let's do the, let's have the sounds again on at least this guy. As 1791 makes her rounds. If I shake it, I'm trying to get the camera to focus. And now, 3751, he's ready to go. Unfortunately, he can't move because this isn't a DCC controller. It goes 1791 again. Alright, we're going to turn it off. And now, I'm going to use the controller to hold my camera. There we go. Let's take him off the tracks for now. And let's replace it with 844. Problem with 844 is a lot of people say the only drawback to Steam and model trains with Steam, they got way too many wheels. I don't really mind the number of wheels on a Steam engine. I like them for their historical value and the sounds they make. There we go. He's on the rails now. Let's see what sounds he makes. He's the quiet one. He's idling. He's ready to go. However, his whistle, if Anthony, if you're here, let me know in the chat. His whistle is not prototypical. I'm not a fan of the Hancock 3-chime whistles, so I went unprototypical with him. It was 1791 again. I decided to go a little unprototypical with him, and yeah. On Saturday morning, if you guys all chime in on my Saturday morning Model Railroad live stream, you'll understand why I went with the whistle I did. And Anthony, you'll be in for a shock. And just stop 1791 again. And let's see. Yeah, Transmania. I do have quite a few, but some don't work, some do. I'll just take 844 off for the time being. I'll put them in the box in a minute. I got Santa Fe 3751 and 844 flanking the track right now. But yeah, I'm gonna put the ones that are DCC, the ones I can run. I'm gonna put them in my box over on the corner and have them ready for Saturday. Though I could try for tomorrow morning. I just have to put my name in. It'd be a last minute bit. This little guy here, you might see, he is DCC on board, it's just he doesn't have any sound. And let me just put him to the side here. I'm going to end the live stream with this guy. Come on, James, out you come. You're holding on to the dickhead Dominic, that's his name, I think. But here is James. Finally, he can breathe after being buried under all those, oh dear. That was a fail. My camera fell forward. And there is James. James looking nice and good for everybody. And he's eyeing the camera because he knows he was stuck in the scrapyard for a little bit. And he's eyeing me like, you let my paint go. You let my paint go, bad man. Why would you do that? Why? I'm the smartest engine on Sodor, and you put me in the scrapyard. Why? But you're gonna notice pretty much. Let's see. Can I turn on my flashlight? Nope, I cannot. The light, I can't do it. But anyway, what's neat about James is, look, you could tell I did a little bit of a botch job. James is a little bit different than most Bachmann models, and I did this a little bit through watching Simi or Ski, and through watching, I think even Sam's Trains. Well, I don't think Sam's Trains repainted, but I know Simi or Ski did, and I decided to follow suit. James originally has a little bit of grayish wheels, and his smoke box is red, which doesn't make sense to me. Let me bring him in a little closer because he loves looking at the camera. I know, James, I know, you like the camera. Anyway, you can see here, even though the camera's out of focus again, I don't like that about this phone that I'm using. But then again, I am able to live stream for you guys, which is awesome. So, hang on, let me try hitting it. Or shaking it, maybe. Bring it back just a little. Come on, focus. Focus for me. No, it doesn't want to focus. Hold on. Sometimes shaking it helps. But nope, it does not want to cooperate right. Oh, there we go. So, it's a little hard to see, but what I did was I went out a couple days ago and repainted James's light gray wheels. They weren't light, but they were definitely gray. And I went out, repainted them black, but I didn't have the little screwdriver to get rid of the driving rod here. So you can see it was a little bit amateur. I botched it a little bit. I got a little bit of black paint on the driving rods, but James is okay with that. He's glad to have his proper paint work done. I know how much he likes getting a new coat of paint. In terms of his smoke box, hold on, James, gotta uncouple you from your tender here so you can show it off. He doesn't mind. So you can see I did a good job with the wheels. Probably needs a little bit of a touch up because there are some spots that need to be repainted. Obviously, right here you can tell it's that little. I think it's a weight. Those pieces where it looks like a little wedge. I think that's a weight, but you can see it has a little bit more of a shine to it. So I probably need to go over that with a second paint. And some of the rims on James's wheels, on the drive wheels, need a little more paint. And you can see on this side, I kind of botched things up a little more, but I tried. But the main thing I wanted to do, because it was such a glaring problem, I'll put his tender back on. The main thing that was such an eyesore, for me anyway, was his smoke box. Backman normally have his smoke box in red, matching his paint. But as we know in the TV series, James's smoke box from the funnel down to his running board is black. So what I did is I put a bunch of tape right about here and even down here. So if I bring it up, let me bring it up a little bit. There's very little to no black paint on that running board. I also put a little bit around his face, right here. That way, whoops, sorry James, didn't mean to derail you. I did a better job at painting his smoke box than I did the wheels. You can see some botched paint work right there. But again, James is alright with it as long as he's saying that, you did a good job repainting me to the proper proportions. If you have to go over with a second coat, I am totally fine with it. But herein lies a little bit of a problem with being built by Backman. I'm going to turn him around. I know this is my longest live stream to date, I think. There could be another one. I can't rightfully remember. Alright, James. I'm going to send you off to help out the new girl. She needs a little bit of help, so I'm going to send you off. There he goes. You can kind of see in the background. 1799. I named her Millie. She's quietly lumbering along, and here comes James. He's going to give her a bit of a push. Come on, James. There you go. Give her a little nudge, but there's not much of a speed difference. You're going to see James is going to struggle when he comes into shot. And I'm going at a slow speed, that way I don't accidentally burn out the motor. Here he comes. You can just see him. His wheels are turning a little more than Millie's here. Millie's just calm, quiet. She's doing all right. A little more juice from you, James. Give her a little bit more of a push if you can. And unlike Dominic, who is in the scrapyard right now, James isn't trying to push off the Napa caboose, and I'll explain why right now. Alright, James, let's not have you slip anymore. So the reason why James and some of the other and Thomas actually are able to push, give a push from behind, is there is no they don't have tension lock couplers in the front. Although, in certain episodes, James does push freight cars and all. But there's also no knuckle caboose right where my finger is. So I can have James come up and give the any other engine a push. I just grab douchey McStarbilling blue cheese, as I call. I got that from Miss Solver and Blossom, who now goes by Thesio. Douchey McStarbilling blue cheese, aka Thomas, can do the exact same thing. And, I can have both of them. I've actually got James right behind. Let's see what happens if I do this. Yep, they're both pushing, but these two are struggling to help out Millie, because it takes Millie a little longer to get started. Let me back them up real quick. Alright, you two, come on. There you go. See, Thomas and James, they can move a little bit faster backwards. Millie, however, because she's bigger, she's a little bit slower. She's a little bit harder to start. And there's Thomas and James again coming into shot. And Bachmann engines are somewhat noisy. And the good thing is, even though I did get a little bit of paint on James's wheels, he's still able to move in a reliable manner. As you can see, they're struggling to push the big old Millie over there to get her up to speed and all. But the main thing I want to mention with James is I repainted his wheels and smoke box so he looks a ton, and I mean a ton better. Thomas, I decided to oil him up a little bit. I oiled up his wheels so he moves a little bit smoother. He is a little bit noisy, but that's a little bit understandable from back then. Sam's Trains mentioned that when he was reviewing some of his engines. Backmen tend to be a tad noisy, but that's okay coming from their motor. And then the last Backman I have that is a Thomas and Friends engine. Makes sense for Millie to be partnered up with someone like her. Just turn that around. Is Emily. And I know a certain person, if he's watching, will probably start being like, oh my god! But it's Emily. And it's a little bit fitting that she helps, although she's a little more sensitive to dirty track. So there goes Emily and Millie. I don't know if it's one and the same name or not, but it's kind of fun watching these two run together. And I'll end it here. The only thing I'm a little worried about is Emily does have tension lock couplers, so she might accidentally pull up the Napa caboose. So I'm a little worried about that. But there is Millie. Here she comes. A little push from her friend Emily. Ooh, that caboose didn't look good. It looked like it was leaning to its side, but there goes Emily, getting a little bit of a helping buffer. It's a little weird seeing a British engine pushing an American caboose, but then again, there's no knuckle couple getting in the way of that, so Emily and Millie are doing a great job together. Well, they did lurch a little bit. Again, I think both these girls are sensitive to dirty track. And here comes Millie again. I'll do one more lap, and then I will end the stream. I would say 1791's a nice addition. I'm waiting for the day to get a Dakota put inside her. That way I can run her on the club layout that you see in some of my videos. So when she comes around again, I'll see you guys in the next video. There's Thomas and James just waiting patiently. And I will probably put a number 12 on Emily's tender. I'm thinking like in a NASCAR style number 12. Here comes Millie. Here she goes. Pulling her train. Get a little help from a new friend. Thomas and James had a ton of trouble pushing. And there's Emily. They go by, and I'll see y'all later.